Spine health care video for long-term spine health. I would start with the dynamic warm-up with the movement like cat, cow. Breathe in, round out, exhale. When I exhale, I'm pulling navel to spine. This is a spinal mobility exercise that's really good for warming up. Next, I would come into child's pose, a breath or two to your left, a breath or two to your right. Come back up, find neutral spine, bird dog. Hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Repeat 3 to 5 times, both sides. You can always rest in child's pose if needed. A key progression is to be able to come down, squeeze the buttocks, and elongate the spine in what we call the Superman or Superwoman. Blades down and back. It's a full spinal extensor exercise, strengthening everything in the back body, which is absolutely essential to be able to stand upright and longer. Minors in Sweden can hold this for 5 minutes without rest, and those guys have a 90% reduction of spine pathology. After this, I can come back, give myself a break, and now we're going to loosen hips. So I'm loosening the front of the left hip, I'm loosening the right hip. I look over my left shoulder, look over my right shoulder. I would recommend doing that on both sides. So this helps with transitional movement, dynamic core activation, along with hip mobility. This is called world's greatest stretch. I'm pushing the ground away, reaching for the ground, itching my neck, itching my back, opening up chest wall, not cranking into my spine, but instead using controlled breaths. Come back, reset the spine. Can be a front bridge, butt squeeze, or a high plank butt squeeze. For someone to stand and walk for an hour, you have to be able to hold a plank for at least a minute, or you will not have the endurance to walk, okay? So minute high plank, switch, couple deep breaths, back, tall kneel, half kneel, open up the hips, hold for a couple deep breaths, look over left shoulder, couple deep breaths. Then the other side, tilting pelvis, squeezing buttock, no pressure in my back. Elongating the spine, couple deep breaths. Look over right shoulder, couple deep breaths. You can work in and out. That helps hip extension. Just make sure you don't feel it in the back and you feel it in the front, okay? From here is called a half kneel to standing lunge. So this is exercise 2. This is core strength. So can I stand up, reach for the sky, hip hinge, forward fold to flat back. Back up. Chair pose, arms down or at side easiest. Next easiest, harder, hardest. Feel it in my butt and my thighs. This is called chair pose. Full spinal strengthening exercise. As we get older, we need a long spine with balance and core. Hold a couple deep breaths, both sides. Next, I'm coming back down to the ground to hit side core. So this can be dynamic, or I can hold it. 5 breaths, 2 to 3 times. S-sit, mobilize the hips, come over to the other side. Again, I can do 10 times or hold for 5 to 10 breaths. dead bugs. Tilt, tuck with crunch. Make sure you feel a stretch here and the abs are doing the work. So holding the opposite knee and engaging the abdomen can help you do bicycles or lower body dead bugs, but feeling it in your abs. Crunches are safe and fine for you as well. If you still have a hard time with hip flexors, you can always put a ball behind each leg to activate hammy more than hip flexor. After 2 to 3 sets of that to burn, so 1 set to burn, do a bridge. 2nd set to burn, stretch your hips. Tilt, tuck, lift. 3rd set to burn. Roll over, rolling's core, and with some cat-cow to child's pose, thread needle, couple breaths each side, and now you have a full body program. Thank you. She's going to take you through that to try to cement it into your